Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my modded Minecraft server, which basically is me alone on a server. Whatever. In the last episode, we finished building out this greenhouse. Started sounding haha. And in between episodes I went and threw some tables in. And I figured out why the salt and pepper shakers weren't going into our dining room table. I didn't know this, or I didn't realize this, but apparently in this version of Bibliocraft, the table itself actually has an inventory, which I can't seem to access now. Great. Yeah, there's an inventory there, and so that's why it kept popping up sideways. Anywho, for the most part, we're done in this area, although I thought there might be a little more detail to add. I did change the roof out. I think it was in the last episode where I started tearing the old roof off. I really like this one a lot better. It's not perfect, but it fits the slope that I was hoping for a little bit better. And if I could scroll over to the correct thing. And today, I thought we might work on our basement a little bit. I've been playing around with different chests and crates and barrels and whatnot. And I was thinking that we would fill in the basement a little bit, make it be a storage room. Let's see. Yard, trophies, toys, technology, storage. There we go. Maybe 5 of these. 5 of these. Not that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those at least. Can you shift click? You can. Bunch of barrels. I don't think we're going to go for the beer kegs or anything alcohol related because it's just not something that I do. And we'll check that out. I didn't see that earlier. We've got a bunch of that done there already. Yeah. Okay. Couple more of these dotted around the place. Maybe one there and one there. Kind of an odd angle there. Like they stuffed it in here. Okay, so apparently... Oh, you can stack them up. That is good to know. The hitbox on these things is a little strange, so it can be finicky trying to place them. There. Try not to trip over that one on your way down the stairs. Just scatter some chests around. One more. You know what? We'll throw one back here with where the barrels are gonna go. There. These things have strange hitboxes. It's not quite a block. Yeah. Landed. Just plop the barrels are here and there. Something like that. A scattered mess of stuff. The funny part is, each one of these actually counts as a storage unit. I think we got plenty of that. And some old luggage, I think. And that's also storage. Great. So we'll put that all back. Put it back. Where? Probably should grab more books. Not a whole lot of books. As in, that's all the books we've got. Well, the bookshelf is useful. Anyways, in the next episode, I was thinking we could go ahead and take on the Chaos Guardian. Because I believe we're pretty much to that point, and I know it's kind of a short thing. Don't really have tons of hours here. But for the most part, I'm getting tired of this world personally, and I feel like the series has run its course, honestly. I mean, this is episode 28. And so, Chaos Guardian will be episode 29. Assuming we kill it in that episode, episode 30 will be us setting up the fusion reactor. Which was kind of the last thing that I was going to do in this world. We can't let it go too long because in this particular mod pack there's actually no way of computerized controlling it. And I've discovered an issue if the world gets unloaded where the flux regulators, whatever they're called, for some reason it stops feeding power into the reactor's stabilization field. I'm not sure why, but it does. And so we're going to probably be building it in the deep dark. But basically everything else is done. I mean, the main thing was this control center here, and that includes the power plant itself, the big reactor, and the two draconic energy storage multi-blocks. Tier 7, of course. Let's take a little nap before we go too far. You can't place that here. Something is in the way. Yeah, your wonky hitbox. That's what's in the way. Yeah. I'm just feeling like this world is done. It's the thing with all these 1, 7, 10 mod packs and everything like that is none of them is going to have a place in my heart the way that what is currently the other modded series I'm doing right now, because that particular world was my first world, and it's like your first wife. You're never gonna have another one quite like that. Even if it was a bad thing and everything that could go wrong did go wrong, you'll still miss her. But anyways, we got a little bit of time, I suppose. But yeah, we've got 2 of those, and then the reactor itself, the control center. This part right here is the actual control hub with everything in it. I got the controller in this section. Down below, we've got our access to everything else. Ender IO conduits, the dense ME conduits, and a bunch of peer-to-peer. That's how we're getting everything sent. Up here is basically the ME controls. And I went with giant windows because, well, that's what you'd have in a control tower. And I put a window over there so that you can look in and see the reactor itself. Which I think we're going to go over there next. I think that... I know it's not something people typically do, name the episode in the episode, but I think this is going to basically be the world tour / final house decorating Not much in the way of decorating, but yeah. But this is a big reactor, of course. This particular design will actually output. I did some testing in one of the redstone test worlds that I have. It will output to 25 turbines. It'll keep up with it. But yeah, we're generating something like 673,000 RF a tick with this setup, which is overkill by a lot. And then over here we've got our little machine room. All this is ore processing, and I found it interesting that the basic setup, if you have a lot of them, will keep up with ender quarries. 2 of them. I've got 2 of them going right now. But then the auto crafting machines are all up on top there. And back here is the auto crafting center with all the molecular assemblers. Each and every one of these interfaces is full. Maximum upgrades. I did find a peculiarity with the ME system when it comes to auto crafting all of the processors. It will only do 1 over a full stack if you've got more than 1 inscriber available. I haven't done extensive testing, but I don't think it scales very well. So, yeah, anybody ever gets doing ME stuff in the future, and you're watching this video, you might want to take note of that. Also, I never did finish these. These whole rooms are supposed to be the processors, the crafting CPUs. Never did finish that. Never needed to. And I know there's stuff that's technically still unfinished, but for the most part, I've done everything I want to do in this world. And then over here, we've got our actual storage room. Not even halfway through this. It takes a very long time to get all the materials you need to make a storage unit. And I opted to go for the smaller 256K units. The way that your ME system distributes things is a little wonky because most of these, with all the green, for the most part, these drives are completely empty. So I don't know why it'll pick 63 items in this, 63 item types in this disk, and then the entire rest of the row is completely empty. In fact, every one of them around it will be empty. Not sure how it decides that exactly. I've heard it's supposed to be something to do with the distance from the controller, but it's not consistent with that. And of course, the end portal and all that. There's not a whole lot else built except for a little bit over this way that I've done. Mostly between episodes. I haven't bothered replacing the hose because I haven't needed it. But over here we've got 4 farming stations with some of our basics. We've got tomatoes and lettuce and wheat that go to make burgers, and it's off now. It's just a crappy little farm underneath one of the power storage devices that basically spawns in cows and drops them on the... I think I used iron spikes, and we've never even come close to running out of food. And of course beetroot, because I needed red dye. I needed a lot of it to do the deco craft. And then there's a little bit more over this way that I would consider being built. It's not much. I went ahead and set up portals to each and every one of the dimensions. I've been to the Deep Dark. I have not done anything in there. And in the last millennium, there is a waypoint in our enhanced charm of dislocation to go build the fusion reactor in there, because I thought that would probably be the best place for it. And then over here we have our crafting terminal, quantum tunnel, for if anybody were to join the server and they wanted to get access to stuff right away, like food. Just essential stuff. This particular ME system's always been intended to be the public system. Problem is, nobody else has ever joined me, so that's alright. I think one of the problems that I've had because of it being single player modded and the way it's all set up is that I got bored. Way too much off-camera time for what is in the pack, and then it's not a kitchen sink pack, but there's a lot of mods in this, things that I just don't get into. My playtime on here is actually higher than it would be on FTB Infinity. But, anyways, I think that's enough jabbering for now. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, and if you really enjoyed it, then please be sure to subscribe. You'll be able to click on my little guy's face, actually. It'll be in a little button that you can click on. And you can also check out some of my other videos on the cards that are on the screen. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.